Hello, I'm David Penn, Research Analyst with Finovate. We're here at Finovate Spring 2022 in San Francisco, California. Joining me this morning is Dontá Wilson. He is the Chief Retail and Small Business Banking Officer with Truist Financial. Dontá, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. So I thought maybe we could start off with you telling us just a little bit about yourself and the work you do at Truist.
Yeah, thank you. I'm with Truist, and Truist is the 7th largest bank in the country. We're headquartered out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We have 55,000 teammates, 2,100 branches. And the job that I get to do every day is to be the servant leader for our retail and small business banking group. So I'm the Chief Retail and Small Business Banking Officer, which is 21,000 of those teammates. I also lead our digital banking group. I lead our client analytics group. I lead our marketing group. I lead our products as well. So all of consumer products on the lending side as well as deposit side, as well as our mortgage business and our credit underwriting group.
Yeah, quite a portfolio.
It is, great portfolio.
Fantastic. Well, you're going to be going on stage in just a few minutes, actually, to be a part of our panel on achieving digital acceleration. And I was wondering if maybe you could give us a bit of a preview on some of the aspects that you think are particularly important when it comes to driving change and innovation in financial services.
Yes, I think it's super important as leaders, particularly in financial services, to really challenge ourselves and say, what's driving the transformation? Is it really about the business or is it really about the client? And so we start from a position of empathy and saying clients need us to be able to transform and innovate, to be able to meet their needs in more dynamic and more meaningful ways, similar to other industries that are serving their needs today. And so I think now is a meaningful time for us to do that in a more meaningful way, and it's going to take a lot of combination solutions, but we're starting from a place of empathy and designing the things that will ultimately solve their needs.
Empathy, interesting point. The landscape for financial services has changed quite a bit in recent years, COVID having a lot to do with that in terms of digital transformation and things like that. I'm curious what sort of skills, knowledge, aptitudes you think are important for leaders to have in order to help steer their businesses through this time where evolution just really seems to be kicking in.
Yes, that's a great question. I think the first answer to that question is having a growth mindset and saying that just because we've done this 100 years, financial institutions have been around a long time, that definition of success, by definition, is success is past tense. And in order to be successful in a future orientation, you have to think differently, and you have to embrace and view change differently, and you have to view risk differently. A lot of times people get comfortable with the existing systems that they have, technologies and solutions, because it's been successful, and they see it as a risk to make any type of change. But the biggest risk is knowing your business too much. The biggest risk is not being able to realize that if you don't make that change, then you could potentially be out of business. And we know tons of businesses that aren't business anymore because they weren't able to embrace that change. I think outside of that, having creativity, having skill sets around digital, having skill sets around data and analytics, and then I think a new skill set that is on the rise is behavior science. Because in financial services, we've been able to give lots of clients great financial literacy, and we've created some amazing tools with some of the digital tools that we have available for clients and some awesome products. But that still has not changed client behavior in a meaningful way. So the next, I think, future generation of really having positive impact on clients is embracing and incorporating behavior science and behavior economics into your solution set so that you can actually get clients to do something different.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point. You can imagine a scenario or a situation in which you've got a vast variety of tools and things like that, and the person is sitting there in the middle of this array of things, but it's different to have the tools there, to actually have them use the tools as well.
That's exactly right. A good example for us, for example, is that we're always, in financial services, we want clients to save more, right? You want them to be able to have savings for a rainy day, savings for retirement, savings to start a business, or savings to get a mortgage. And you look at saving rates and people's participation in savings, and over the last 20, 30 years, hadn't changed meaningfully. The stimulus has given some benefit to more capital that's available, but as far as saving activity and participation, about the same. So we recently purchased a company called Long Game, which is actually headquartered in San Francisco, and what they've done is be able to use gamification. And we have a lot of young clients that love to play the game, and by playing the game, they're actually saving more. And so that's some of the behavior science, behavior economics that we're looking to embrace and put into our general solution set to get them to change their behavior.
Right, very interesting example. Long Game, a Finovate Best of Show winner not too long ago, newcomer. We hear a lot about creating a culture of innovation is something a lot of financial services companies aspire to. In addition to some of the things you mentioned, growth mindset, creativity, leadership, an appetite for change, what are some of the other things you think are prerequisite for creating that culture of innovation?
I think when you have a culture of innovation, you have to make sure it's at the center of your company. So we recently opened last year an innovation center. It's a 100,000 square foot center. and we intentionally put it in the middle of our headquarters. It's on the 14th and 15th floor of our headquarters. So typically companies would take the innovation center and put it across country or across town. You take all these brilliant folks and have them come and try to disrupt the general company.
Right.
We want it to be at the heart of our company so that everybody can participate in innovation and be a part of that so that it can spread. And that's our physical manifestation, but we also wrote it into who we're trying to be in our mission. So we said in our mission statement, we want to provide safe and secure service to clients driven by touch and technology. That was a big difference when we brought these two companies together in 2019 to put that and ink that and share that vision with all of our teammates and then allow them to participate. So we're giving them the venues wherever they're located throughout the country to be able to submit ideas that can be proof of concepts, test and learns, so they can participate in all of the solutioning that we're doing, because the real solutioning is not technology driven. Most of the solutioning is some process or some product or some experience that is broken that they know about, and then you have to find which technology to consume to be able to solve that particular challenge.
All right, absolutely. I thought maybe we could finish up by just finding out from you where you sort of think the future of financial services is going. What are some of the things that excite you most that you think are around the corner?
I think the future of financial services is really moving towards trying to eliminate clients from having to do banking, right? So they're living their lives. And we want to make sure that they can have a seamless and frictionless experience that's a part of their natural life. And so when you think about ecosystem plays and being a part of the financial ecosystem, but more importantly, be a part of their daily ecosystem. So whatever activity they're doing, that we're able to provide a solution while they're doing that particular activity. So you got embedded finances, you have APIs, a product or as a service. So being able to solve for them so that they don't have to go do banking, that doing banking is a part of their daily lives. So I see more of that being a driver on how people innovate and think about solutioning financially.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. And Truist, we know, is going to be very much at the center of helping bring that about. That's fantastic to hear.
That's right. We look forward to it. Thank you for the time today.
Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us as well.